Good evening. Oh, right, just realised your background. It's a bit snazzy there. What's up? What's up? What's up with that?
I've got I use this one on Thursdays normally.
Yeah,
it's a bit different.
I just picked up on it there because I just remember yesterday what was it? Just took me by surprise there. So hello, it is Thursday. It is GFM Thursday, which is always a great day of the week because we get to talk about games for a bit. Before we start, we have some things we need to talk about at the beginning of the show before we move on to the games. There's one good news story. There is one not so good news story, which we'll be covering because we do like to be balanced. So this is going to be fun. I think I'm looking forward to actually talking about the games because there's a game I've just
yes. Oh, hang your head in shame. I know I was gonna see it at some point anyway, but yeah, definitely. No, GFN Thursdays are, I think for us, they're an absolute treat to cover, aren't they? Because we just literally get to sit here and have a good old yarn about games, and we really enjoy it.
Yep, we do indeed. So that's what we like doing, is just talking about the games and stuff like that. We don't actually really like talking about the other sort of things which go on. So shall we kick things off here in a second? There we go.
That was the least inconspicuous get rid of the prop ever.
Get to get rid of something.
Three-quarters of the way there. Oh, yeah, it's gone.
It's away. We just had to get rid of it. We don't talk about that. My head is shot here because there's so much going on, and I gave a hint yesterday what my Steam play time was. I think we'll give another glimpse of that tonight as well, just to see how much I've actually been playing on GFN. So we've got a couple of people in here. We've got Paraz Sucks. Hi, Paraz. We've got Raven. We've got Kilopathopus.
Oh, you got it right.
We've got Colin. We have T. T is back.
T is back. T is alive.
Yes. Barry's still alive. It's more that it's more that you're still alive now, T. Okay, we'll kick this off with the slightly negative thing just to get that out from the way. It's GFN announced last week that lawn mowing simulator was coming down date to GFN. We have it confirmed that there is no ETA on this at this moment in time, and we do not know if and when it is coming to the platform. I think it's a matter of when rather than if, but they can't actually clarify on when it is coming. I think this was a little naughty. Not naughty is probably the wrong word. What word would you? What would you?
I think I don't know. I guess they've maybe jumped. Have they jumped the gun? Maybe by letting the cat out of the bag last week. Should they maybe sat on it for a bit longer?
I think that would be the better way of doing it. They should have just sat on it a bit until it was there. I think they must have thought it was 100% there, and it hasn't come. People are winning in that game, believe it or not. I was going to pick it up probably, so I was, because it's actually a chill out game to complement Power Wash Simulator.
You go around and cut the grass and then wash the windows after you've cut the grass.
Okay. If you actually look out there, it's actually getting brave, good reviews, and I know people are enjoying it. It's a chill out game. I think it is definitely worth mentioning that it is not coming, and it is disappointing news.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think given we only just covered it a week ago, it is obviously, it's not great to be in the position of kind of a week later saying, it's not coming, or it might still be, but we just kind of don't know. It's a little bit up in the air. I think, as we said at the start of this, probably you kind of probably could have just wished that maybe they just sat on it and not said anything, and either surprise people with it, at launch, if it was going to be on track to kind of be ready, or just announce it as a nearly day and date, as you like to call it.
Yep, I call them near day and date. So yeah, I think hopefully it doesn't happen again in the future because of it. I know I'm going to get raked for that, but I was looking forward to this, and I know there was other people looking forward to the game as well, who I will mention, Hell Monkey, and we will hopefully it does come down later down the line, because I'm telling you now, if you have not picked up Power Wash Simulator, go pick that up. It is the most therapeutic game you can actually play. You can just sit there and scrub down your house, screw up down your cars, and all that sort of carry on. It is the perfect chill out game, and I could see this just getting added to that as well. So yeah, that's why I'm a little disappointed in that sort of news there.
Yep.
So we will move on to the better news. This was unexpected, and it is we have a free-to-play weekend this weekend, and this is what we were sort of hinting about on Twitter there not so long ago. And it is a game which you could make a good stab off playing over the weekend, and maybe completed their bits and bobs, and this is Frostpunk. I have already got Frostpunk. I've played it a hell of a lot more than the one. It must be on the other account. I've played it a hell of a lot more than that. But this is a really, really good game, and it was many people's candidate for Game of the Year a couple of years ago. It gets you thinking, so it does. You have to make these big and scary sort of choices, and it's just absolutely mad.
I'm really glad to see that. Obviously, we've got a free play weekend on this, because it's a title that I've seen sort of come and go through the libraries, and you kind of see it on the Steam pages, the storefronts, all that sort of stuff. And it's kind of almost had me hovering over that button to go, yeah, I'm going to add it to my library, and I've not quite done it. So the fact that it's on a free weekend, and it's a free weekend in the cloud, perfect. I can jump in and give it a try with relative ease.
Yeah, I do not be going in expecting all joy and light in this game. This game makes you, depends how emotionally attached you get to games, but you do have to make some interesting choices in it. Do you save your children and put them into school, or do you send them out to work because it's an apocalypse and you have to try and get everything back up and running? It is them sort of moral sort of choices. Some things you want to do, but you really can't do at that time because you have to balance the game out there. It is an absolutely great game, and the story and the atmosphere of the game is absolutely amazing. I cannot recommend this game enough, especially to try over the free-to-play weekend. And it's down to £7.50. And you can get... And you can get the upgrade the bundle there for £15. So that'll be about $10, $20 for everything. $20 for, or £20, so £25 mark for the Game of the Year edition, which you get absolutely everything with. So it is well worth checking this. Soundtrack. It might have been. I know it is a fair.
I'm just checking now.
You're just checking now. It might have been, but you can play it on Epic or on Steam. So go try this, because I can't. Again, it is just. You may not like the game, which is perfectly fine.
Yes, it is, and thank you for whoever called that out, because I've actually got it in my library.
Yay! So it was a free game, so definitely worth checking that out. If you picked it up in Epic, or you can play it here. So absolutely amazing game there.
Perfect. Awesome.
So we will Oh, yep.
I was just going to say, there's me worried about free weekends. It's been in my Epic library the whole time.
Yes. And
my only defense is the amount of games that we've been plowing through, playing, and all this sort of stuff. It's easy to sometimes forget that they're there.
Yep. So Lawnmower Simulator and Car Wash Simulator, yes, they are fun. Drum Simulator, yeah, he's off his rocker for that. He's 100% off his rocker.
Oh God!
This is how it works here. This is how it works. If I like a game, that's all that matters.
It's the opposite of Sammy Law.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and Calamus?
Calamus, yeah.
Yeah, that's why this is on the free to play the weekend, because they've just announced Frostpunk 2. So if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I think just because Frostpunk is on GFN, I think there's a brave good chance that the next one will come to GFN as well. So absolutely great there. So this week in GFN, and we have the title of the show sort of does it. It is NARAKA BLADEPOINT, which is a day and date release on GFN, and it's not a game for me, and I'm a bit worried about how it will all go here. But
I mean, it's gone so well. Is this the game? Am I right in thinking this is the one where the beta was available?
Yep, and it had over 100,000 people playing the beta. I've been checking the numbers today. I think it got up to around about 75,000 people were playing this today, and this is the paid version. So people who played the beta have moved on and actually bought the game. I think there's lots of customization into it and things like that. But I'm just a bit worried about me playing it on PC because it looks like it's really heavily a keyboard and mouse. But there seems to be absolutely tons of customization and stuff into the game, which you actually want to see. But we'll probably come on to that here shortly. Yes, I just wrecked that there. Oh, no, Duncan. Yeah, they actually gave a quote to GFN saying it's great that GFN can introduce gamers playing on low-powered hardware to the stunning world of NARAKA. We love that more gamers will be able to enter the battlefield and enjoy the next generation of battle royale games in full PC glory, access across all their devices. So absolutely cool that this game is there, and it is the big game of the release of the week.
Yeah, it is definitely. I mean, certainly the visuals are, they're looking absolutely on point. How Monkey's spoken really positively about this. He's enjoyed his time with this, so I'm sure this will be, filling the void of Lawnmower Simulator for him. And obviously, it's slightly shorter than the traditional kind of battle royale. I think in terms of numbers, because obviously most of the battle royale start at 100, whereas I've got a funny feeling this is 60 person.
Yeah, we'll probably come on to that anyway. But yeah, yes. But again, I know people are absolutely loving this game. So, and I think it's a real good get because the big game of the week.
Yep, definitely.
So we move on to the rest of the games. We're going to probably come back to that one, and we are getting some Hello Neighbor fun. So my library has increased on GFN now because I had that. I think I got it in a bundle or stuff. So we got Hello Neighbor and Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek, but we'll be coming on to all these. So as we can see here, we have 5 day and date releases. We've got City of Gangsters, Car Mechanic Simulator 2021, a game for tea, and NARAKA BLADEPOINT, Faraday Protocol, Void Train. We will skip the, we'll just call 428. And Blood of Steel, Darius, Burst, Chronicle, Saviors, Hello Neighbor, Hide and Seek, and Rimworld. So is there any, before we get into them, any of them games stick out to you? or if you heard of any of these ones before we actually
yeah, of course. Void Train, I think, was the one that kind of I was glad to see on this list. I think we mentioned that just before we kind of kicked off the show, so I was glad to see that. As a day and date release today, it's probably the one that I think something we'll see it when we come on to it. There's something in the trailer that kind of looks like it's got an appeal or something that's kind of going to draw you into it. But I know there's probably also something in there that may well be a red flag for you as well.
Yeah, well, there is a big red flag in there for me, but we will touch on that later. I did like the look of Void Train, and we will be touching on that. The game which stuck out to me, and we'll probably come to it first here because I've been actually watching some people play it, not City of Gangsters. It's one of my stupid games I like. I know it hasn't got it's got mixed sort of reviews out there, but it's a pretty tame take on that. But again, I like the building out of the library, and I've got my eye on Rimworld at the bottom, part of the Epic Games Store. I think that game has got an Epic free game wrote all over it. And at some stage, I'm not thinking it's going to be anytime soon because that's a high enough profile sort of title to make some noise and for people to actually get it. So I think that could be like one of their winter ones, when they do the big massive one sales and they drop big game after big game after big game. I think that could be one of the games now, since that is now on the Epic Games Store. So shall we kick this off?
Let's do it. Let's kick it off. Let's talk some more games.
Okay, we will start off with City of Gangsters. As we can see here, it is like a resource management game where you're actually going around selling alcohol to people and things like that, and you're trying to build up your as you can see, just trying to make an absolute ton of money there, and you're competing against other people. I think another of the issues that people have of the game is not very deep. Perfect for me because I'm not very deep. So there you go. So I think I think the word maybe that's getting a bit of a disservice, but that is what the general what I'm getting. The feedback I'm getting, it's dead on. It's nothing special. It's not absolutely rubbish. It's one of them games right in the middle. And I am wish listing this. So it is a game. It is 100% game for me.
Live wish list.
Live wish, yes. There might be something else later. But it's £26, so I'll be about the $35-40 sort of mark there. And again, I think I will be getting this at some stage. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get it one stage. And there's our brilliant GFN creator on the ball as normal, getting that done. Absolutely brilliant to see there. Absolutely class that they are doing it. So I'm just trying to see what's in the deluxe edition.
What have we got? Here we go.
We also have the city map, new resources, additional mission, new crew skills, theme. I'm not going to.
Cincinnati theme buildings.
I knew what it was. I knew I wouldn't be able to get wouldn't be able to say it, and a unique victory condition. So yeah, definitely worth that one. I'm going to wait for this to go on sale as well.
Yeah.
But I am looking forward to this one.
Absolutely. I mean, this is one that I kind of look at and think I'd agree with, yourself and Killer Platypus here. It's definitely a wait for a sale, but the concept, in kind of what makes up the game is something that, it's one of those interesting things, isn't it? We've all kind of watched the films of kind of these, these periods of bootlegging alcohol and, all that sort of stuff. And, it looks interesting. So, it's definitely one to kind of keep an eye on. But I'm in that camp of wait for a sale for it.
Yeah. Again, there's lots of people actually playing that. There's a lot of content creators out there playing this game. So, and some of them got early access. And again, some people are loving it. Some people aren't. I think it's more about the depth of the game. I think, and there isn't enough actual being a gangster. It's more just about the smuggling and all that sort of stuff, not actual big hardcore gangster sort of stuff here. There, I think that first few there is decent enough, but it's no gangsters, organized crime. There's no complexity and stuff like that. So it is maybe a light sort of game, but that'd be perfect for me. And there's
just going to say, that's not always a bad thing, is it? I think sometimes it's good to have that kind of mix where it does dip into the that kind of style, that genre, that kind of, but without being overly gangster orientated and more about the resource management side.
Yep, I have no problem with that. Maybe if they reskinned it, it might have got slightly better reviews. Though instead of having gangsters on it, they had some other sort of thing up there, and it may have actually thing. Yeah, Ruben's just said that there. So yeah. Not bad. I have put that on my wish list. Here is the next one here, and again, I've seen people been playing this on YouTube as well. And this is Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. And I'm going to say something really bad here. I like the look of it.
Well, you know what? I'm good. Ruben said here. Apparently, Car Mechanic is the best sold game on Steam at the moment.
Yeah, I think it looks absolutely class. It doesn't look, it looks decent enough for I could sort of get into that, and it just, there's just, I don't know, what I think it was. I think it was Power Washing Simulator has got me looking at these games now, and it's going, yeah, it's not as in depth and all this as you think it is. You can actually go and have a bit of fun playing it. And yes, I'm actually looking at this game. That's my confession.
Oh dear. I mean, I can't. I'm all about kind of the driving games and that kind of side of it. I'm not sure, but then again, I haven't played Power Wash Simulator, so maybe I haven't been sucked into the world of simulators in the same way.
Yeah. Again, I like the look of it. It's not too deep. I think it's you can buy a car and do stuff. I think there isn't enough games like that where you can just do missions at a time. You can just work your way through things nice and slowly. Because the Power Wash Simulator, going back to Power Wash Simulator, you could just sit there and play it for a bit and have a bit of fun and then switch it off. I just really want more of them sort of games where you can dip in and out. And then this, for me, is a dip in and out. Look, I can wash your car. Come on, that's not the cool.
I mean, you know what?
Go on, slack me off. Go on.
I'm not. Do you know what? I can't, because there is something. I mean, look at that paintwork. I mean, what is happening? There is an appeal about putting together a nice ride with a nice set of rims and all that sort of stuff. So, I get it. I get it.
And then you customize the cars and you have to fix them up. It's just there is a bit of a hook there, which I can see. I can really enjoy this. Also, there's something we need to mention later. If you look to the right. Sato Corsa.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, just want to remember. So it's be about $25 mark here, and you can there's super duper editions for $25-$30 sort of dollars. It has training, or it's got the training cards, which we like to see, and there is lots of achievements.
Repair bundle. You
can play the prologue, which is Motor Mechanic Simulator. Come on, we'll have to get that on. We'll have to get that on GFN as well, so people can actually try that, because that would be class. On Tank Mechanic. Oh no! Look at this. Beef Simulator now. Get away, get away, get away, get away, get away.
Detailing.
But
Yeah. Look at the reviews.
holy
Beep.
yes. 173 hours, and he's chucked, or they have chucked on another 30 nearly hours in between the review. Yeah, so I think
There's definitely something there, isn't there?
there is. So people are sticking their time into this sort of game, even though it is pretty new. 613 positive reviews at the moment, and it only released yesterday. So yeah, you put oil into the car and all. Like, come on.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Get off the simulators. Get off the simulators. We will move on to NARAKA BLADEPOINT. This is getting mixed reviews. And look how many. This game is only released today, and there's already over 4,000 reviews on it. I'm just showing you how much this is going here. I will go to the stats page. Just to show where is this. It has dropped off, so I think it is more. I don't think it's a big American sort of game at the moment, because it's down to 25,000 people playing at the moment, but it was up to 70,000 people playing it. So there is an absolutely ton of people playing this at different times. And just look at that, Splitgate is doing still well. That's available in GFN. And there is for mentioned car mechanic simulator. 17,500 people are playing that at this moment in time. So it has definitely got an audience there. As Calaplatypus said, it was doing well in the Steam sales. But back to NARAKA, it is a battle royale. And you were right, it was 60 players. So it's another battle royale, and it is looking pretty good. I didn't want to really go for this game at this moment in time, because I don't think I could do it justice, to be honest with you, from what I have been playing over the last wee while.
I think the thing as well is, if you had that feeling from it, with it maybe being a little bit more KBM based rather than controller, then if you're not typically a keyboard and mouse player, then you are kind of going to feel slightly unnerved by it, because it doesn't feel natural. If it's if you're accustomed to having that controller in your hand, it doesn't feel natural in terms of kind of playing in that fashion. But yeah, absolutely, I think, as I was saying earlier, visuals in this look absolutely stunning. I think they've done a fantastic job in terms of making it look great, and they've obviously brought something different to the to the battle royale arena. They're just clearly trying to mix it up and give people a different experience from, I don't want to say it's an oversaturated kind of format, but there's a lot vying for your attention in that space, isn't there?
Yeah, you've got the juggernauts, obviously, with Call of Duty and Fortnite and Apex and things like that, but it's another good get. This is where I feel the £18, so about 22.
Surprised by that.
Yes, you know where I'm going now, don't you?
Yeah.
With it being £18 by $22 mark, I think it's got free to play road over it at some stage. It is just a matter of when rather than if, because there's all the customization in the game, and that's easy enough for skins to make it money that way. So that is my slight concern, that it's at some stage it is going to free to play. But I think people who have played it in the beta are definitely going to want to do it more. Look at all that customization sort of there. It's just absolutely mad. Apparently it's like Tomb Raider. Okay. There, see, Tomb Raider. So we are there, and as you can see, there is already a ton of DLC. It's only out £51 worth here. Raven is absolutely loving the game in the chat here. I just want to see what the mix is.
Let's have a little look.
Okay, I can see some of the reasons why.
There you go. A few people saying there on the way as you scroll past. This should be free to play.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there is some reasons for some of the negativity of the votes there, but 4,000 people, there is an audience there. So I think if you're looking to get it, it may be you can jump in now and start to play it.
Yep. No, definitely. Even that section of the trailer there, 1 million plus took part in the stream test.
Yeah.
The play test. So,
148,000 concurrents.
You can't knock it. There's clearly something there, but obviously at the moment, it is maybe in that position where you're either in it and you're loving it, or you're in it and you're thinking, maybe I could have waited.
Yeah, so I'm going to keep an eye on it, but it's not one for me at this moment in time, and I'm a bit worried again. I don't play FPSs or anything like that with my keyboard and mouse anymore. I'm too old for that now. I'm on controllers for basically everything. So we will move on, but the biggest game release of the week, and it is on GFN, or you can say maybe two of the biggest game releases with Car Mechanic as well. Yep. Okay, we may break a record here on the show here. I was getting things organized, and I seen this, and I seen the dev plan here. I think this game looks absolutely amazing. It is a game right up my alley, and it is a puzzle platform. It looks like a bit of Portal, or a bit of the Turing Test, or a bit of Cube 2. I love them sort of games, and as I think you can see here, this game is just appealing to me so much.
And I can see why. As soon as you mentioned it, when I jumped in before we got ready to go, I was kind of watching some of this, and I was just like, actually, is this maybe a Duncan pick that's maybe a little bit out there? And then I kind of started to watch it, and I was like, no, it's definitely not. You touched on the Turing test. I really enjoyed the Turing test and kind of that sort of the puzzle elements of those sorts of games. So I'm 100% with you on that one. This looks really, really good.
And the price point of £14, just under $20 mark, it's not even going onto the wish list. Don't tell those two games there. Shh.
Don't say anything. Everybody in chat, you didn't see anything. This did not happen, okay?
Yes, and Dicey Dungeons is also on GFN, because I've been looking at that game for a while, and it's on sale. £4 for that. Don't tell anybody. I forgot I had that. I forgot I had that.
Wow, there we go. See? There we go. It was worthwhile visiting back, going back to the basket just to find that out.
Yes. So it is. Again, this is maybe a bit further on. This is someone actually playing it live now. A bit of a platformy section as well. Oh dear, this. Oh no. Yes, it is getting bought. I'm going to get murdered. But yes, I think it is getting bought along with Dicey Dungeons. And I think I've got you tempted.
Yes, I'm watching the trailer now, and I'm thinking, I'm already looking at what he's doing, thinking, right, he needs to do this. Mm-hmm. I can feel the internal frustration, thinking, come on, man. You know what to do. Get on with it.
Oh, dear.
There we go. Is he going to make it, or what?
Oh, is he going to make it?
I don't know. Is he going to make it? I feel like I need to know whether he's going to make it.
Oh,
he got it.
Oh, he got it.
Oh, there we go. He did it. There we go. Sorry.
Look at the gun thing. It looks a bit like Flash Gordon's, sort of like a, like the 60s, 70s sort of job.
Yes, it is.
Oh dear, that. Oh, get away from that! Get away.
Yeah, let's stop watching that.
Single player, full controller support, Steam Cloud. It needs to have Steam Cloud for GFN.
Perfect. Apparently, it's similar to Cyberpunk, Duncan.
I love these recommendations, but there's some more. There's another little GIF, whatever way you want to say it. I think it just looks amazing.
No, it does. It does look like a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we've got a review here. A few hours, I can say, love the setting, love the progression, that's unchallenged, highly recommended. So yeah, we will get that game, and we may put it up on Cloudy by Barry, because Barry's buying it as well.
Oh dear.
So
thanks for volunteering me then. So is that so you don't have to showcase your puzzle solving skills?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. Or it says so for you. It says so. It says add to the wish. I know it's either add to the wish list or buy.
I did see.
Or with the sale.
I think no. I probably would have said it was an instant buy. I just got to figure out what I'm going to buy at what point and when I'm going to get round to playing what, because there's lots going on at the minute that I want to play. So
yeah, tell me about it. It's just mad. And I have been addicted. I'll get the confession out. I've been addicted to the idle games over the last 2 or 3 weeks, and it is really bad. And I'm trying to break that habit at this moment in time. It is really difficult. The next game is Void Train, and this is on Epic. This appears to be, I think, about a year's exclusive on Epic or it's either 6 months or a year, because it's also listed on Steam as well. I think this game looks immense, but for one small thing, it's an early access, and I'm a bit more concerned with this being an early access because it's the publisher and developer I haven't heard of before, but I think the look of this game just has me really, really intrigued. It's giving me like Bioshock sort of feels. Bioshock Infinite.
Got your referencing again.
Yes. I wasn't actually meaning to that time, but you can see why I'm saying that in the clouds and things like that.
It does look brilliant, and I like the fact, obviously, you can play it on your own, or if you've got a few people that have got it, you can kind of buddy up and go co-op on it as well.
Yeah, I think it is looking really, really class, and it is £25 for $30 sort of mark, and I just think. It's a survival game as well. I think it's ticking so many right boxes here.
It does, and I think I maybe, I guess we probably slightly differ on early access. I kind of understand, obviously, some of your points with early access, and I'm not necessarily kind of, I'll buy early access. As I know you've bought early access in the past. I think sometimes when you kind of see. For me, it's that balance of early access and price. Is it the right point in time to kind of jump in? And when you've got games sitting around that £25-30 price point, it always makes you kind of think, hang on.
Yeah, if it was a bit lower, I think it would be. Everybody has their different biting points, and £10 to £15 for a new game, like that other one there, Faraday Protocol, is the perfect sort of. It's like it's a lovely, tempting sort of price. That's at £25. It's slightly more, and yet you have to think a wee bit more. That's where you were going with that,
And
wasn't
that
it?
was exactly where I was going with it. Yep, you're spot on.
Price is very important, and that sounds a bit daft. Some of the games you would buy £25 like that, other games will go no way. It is just one of them things. Every game has a price for different people. So I could see a lot of people picking this up for £25. I would probably want to do a bit more investigating to see how complete the game is, because I would want to know what you're getting for your price there. If you're getting 25 quid and it's basically more or less there, absolutely. But if it's £25 and it's years away, you don't want to do that. I think this game is. I'm definitely going to have it on my wish list. I'll chuck it on the wish list now. I'll remember. But it is a wait and see. It is a definite game I want to play at some stage.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I'd agree with that. From the first point that I seen this trailer, it looks like a very interesting title and something that I'm intrigued by, something that I want to play. It is just, I guess, at what point in time will I jump in and play it?
Yeah. So I'm going to be keeping my eye on that one. I think that would be the best way of saying it for both of us there.
Yep, definitely.
Next is 428 Shimaburi Scramble. No.
Let's have a look. Where are we at? So, detective, journalist, former gang leader, head researcher of big pharma manufacturer and part-time stuck in cat costume for a series of events, each more unexpected and outrageous than the last.
I would play this for a couple of pounds because it just looks completely and utterly wacky. I think.
Yeah, it does. It looks out there, doesn't it?
I would not play this. I think like someone there. I would not play this at the full sort of. I would pay £40-50 for this game. This game for me is in a bundle or get it cheap.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And it is £40. Not a mission for me at that.
Almost
price.
3 years old as well.
Yeah, I think it looks interesting. I think it's an interesting get for GF. Oh, I forgot to mention that there at the top of the show. I think I read today that GFN have expanded into Singapore. But
nice, interesting.
I may not be 100% right, but I think there's something about that. I'll double check that when we talk about something else here. But we do know that GFN are moving into different countries as well. So I think this is just this, and I love getting these other type of games out there, which I've never played this before. I do want to play it, and it's real interesting, but it's a game I just have to be tempted into playing.
Yeah, I mean the thing that sticks out for me is the fact that it does look that little bit kind of out there, but the fact that they kind of define it as being quite story rich. Everybody loves a good story in a game, so that's the thing that will kind of get you in playing it, isn't it?
Yes, and yes, I was right about Singapore finally gets the first cloud gaming service in the form of GFM. So I forgot to mention that earlier. Sorry, I'm a bit daft at times. But GFN is in Singapore. So a game bundle or cheap.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. I think even Ruben's confused over what it is.
Yes. Next, FD to play game.
Excellent.
Blood Tale, I think this looks cool. It's an online competitive game from Joan, Caesar, Alex. I love the historical sort of stuff. I think this game looks pretty cool, and there seems to be a fair number of people playing it as well.
As a free to play, stick it in the collection. 80 plus, tipping towards that 90 in terms of free to play games available on the platform. It's brilliant to see, and there's certainly it adds something very interesting, I think.
Something different.
Something different, definitely.
Yeah, Steam achievements in app. As it's a free-to-play game, expect to have a ton of microtransactions and stuff in it. But I don't mind microtransactions, free-to-play games, as long as they're not play to win, and you can pick some of them up anyway if you're just playing it. But yeah. I think this game looks interesting, and I think it definitely will be. I think I will be looking at this at some stage, and 170 hours on record, so people are putting into it. 70 hours. I think you either get it straight away or you don't. Oh, there's our lovely 60 hours. Didn't like it.
I still don't get how you get 60 hours into something and go, I don't like it.
And the free-to-play game.
Yep.
170 hours. So I think it's a game you either get really quickly and you probably don't like it, or you're going to stick an absolute ton of time into.
Yeah, definitely.
And we will move on to the next one, which is Darius Burst Chronicle Saviors. And this is a shoot 'em up. I don't have any here at the moment. Do you want another box sent over?
I realised as I said that, I was like, hang on.
You knew there was something coming.
Yes.
I'll let you talk about this one because not a game for me, this one. I think this is more a game for you.
Yes, I think it is. If this... Yeah, I can. Yes, I'm just as I'm watching this, it's definitely a game for me. That kind of style of arcade shoot 'em up is absolutely brilliant, and I will lose hours in these types of games. If I have to draw myself away from them. If I start it, then that's it. I'm in there for the long haul. I'm not moving. I'm gonna continue kind of going through the levels, and I'll get frustrated at the same time. That's the thing. Some of the shoot 'em ups, you can get to points where you kind of you get to a real section where it's kind of almost critical towards the end of a stage, and it just completely wipes you out, and you have to keep coming back, and just to make sure you've got it done, or you've done that boss battle or the big baddie or whatever it is. Sorry, they're just in the word soundtrack. So
yeah, great soundtrack. Yes, I wonder if you can get the soundtrack. You get the guidebook.
Well, there we go. Full controller support, trading cards.
You're paying an extra £15 for the guidebook. Am I reading that right?
Looks, yes. Yes, it does look like that. Because you've only got 2 items, so you'll have the game and the art book. So it's 15 quid for the art book. And
there seems to be a ton of DLC for it as well.
Yeah.
What the? Also, should have up thumbnail. No. So, what? But stream tiering cards, you've got all that sort of carry on. I don't think I will say too much about it. I think it's one of them types of games you either love them or you don't care too much for them. I don't care too much for them. And I think you need 200 hours in a shoot 'em up.
Brilliant.
Yes. So yeah, I think if you like it, you've probably heard of it before, and you think you'll get your money's worth there.
Yeah, I think so. I think Ruben's ribbing me in the chat because I'll play this, but I won't play Final Fantasy.
Yep. Yep. We will move on to the Hello Neighbor games. Hello Neighbor, I think everybody has heard of Hello Neighbor.
Yep.
It's good to see them on GFN now. I have got this. I don't know why I've got this, but I do have this. Not a greatest fan of them, but I can see the appeal. It's another multiplayer game on GFN, which is great to see. And it's a franchise that everybody knows, and they may not love it, but they the kids absolutely love this game, so it's really good to see that there for the kiddie sort of audience.
I think the word of warning that we'll give you, if you haven't played it, you roll into it at the start without what feels like any kind of tutorial. So you get a little bit of that cutscene, and then you sort of roll into it, just off where his house is, and then it's kind of like, go for your life, fend for yourself, and you're like, what am I supposed to do? What am I doing? But once you do get your head around it,
you enjoy it.
You do enjoy it. I actually enjoyed. If I've got them the right way around, I think I'm going to say that I enjoyed the one that we're about to come on to more than I actually enjoyed this one, because this one is the solo kind of story-based one about what happens to his wife.
There's an actual story to this?
There is actually a story.
Yeah. Like I said, I think I got it in the bundle, so I have it here. I wonder if this means we're maybe going to get the other ones coming as well.
Possibly so.
We've got the trading cards, which is always important to have. Hello Neighbor's favorite songs. I think when we go down here, we're going to see people with massive amounts of time on it, or maybe not.
Shouldn't be huge amounts, I don't think.
Oh, because this is
146 hours.
Oh, because this is a single player one, not the multiplayer one?
Yeah, this is the single player, not the multiplayer, yeah.
Okay, so we'll move on. And these are both available on Steam and Epic. So you might... Were they free on Epic as well? Let me see.
Can't remember.
We'll go to the Epic store. Secret Neighbor wasn't. Was Hello Neighbor. Yep, Hello Neighbor was free on Epic, so remember, claim your Epic free games. And this week, they are...
Yeah, there's only one this week. Is it Rebel Galaxy?
Rebel Galaxy. You can say that one. Void something.
Yes.
And Ukulele. I think that one... Okay, I'm going to make a Duncan prediction here, which is going to be wrong. I'm going to make a prediction that goes on the GFN next week on the Epic Games Store, because it's not on the Epic Games Store version of the game. So I make a prediction that's going to go onto it. I think has that been? It's only coming to Epic next week, so I'll make a prediction that's going, because the second one is available.
Yeah.
So
that's probably not a bad shout.
And Rebel Galaxy is the one. Remember, go claim your Epic free games, because you never know what will happen. Back to Hello Neighbor Hide and Seek. You enjoyed this? This says this is single player as well.
Maybe I'm getting them mixed up. I thought this was the one where you kind of got together played with different people, and then you kind of have to go around and kind of collect keys and all that sort of stuff. Or is hide and seek? Oh no, I think I am getting it mixed up.
Yep, I'm expecting probably all of them to come now, but just because these first two have made their way, I think we're going to hear that the other ones are going to be coming. So full controller support, single player, very positive, 165 reviews. There we go, and 29 hours. So I think people know what they're getting with this anyway.
Yeah, I think that franchise kind of speaks for itself in terms of the fact you know with each installment you know exactly what to anticipate for sure.
Yeah, and the last one we will talk about is Rimworld on the Epic Games Store. This game has been on my wish list for a long time, and I've been waiting for it to get to a price which I will buy that, because I am not 100% sure if I will like it or not, or if it's going to be too I have to think too much in it, because you know what I'm like. I don't like to do all that sort of thinking and all that. But basically, you land on like a planet, and you have to bring your colony up, and you have to survive and things like that. I like the look of it. It gives me the vibes of Prison Architect, and with this going to the Epic Game Store, I am hoping that it is going to be an epic free game down the line. I think we sort of touched that earlier. It's a high enough profile title for when they're doing some of their big, when they've been giving away like Borderlands and games like that. So I'm hoping this is going to maybe end up there. So you have to survive and stuff like that. I rage quit all the time.
I can well imagine you do. I mean, certainly from my perspective, I'm not necessarily sure this is something I go out and buy. But if it did, as you were saying, potentially rolled into being an epic free game, it's more than likely something I'd pick up and try just to see whether it's something that I could get into for sure.
Indeed. And we'll just move on to the last piece of GFN news of the week is Assassin's Creed Valhalla, the Siege of Paris DLC is available now, so go play that. If you're part of Ubisoft Plus, which we recommend if you're picking up a load of I recommend if you're picking up a load of Ubisoft games, you'll get that access to that straight away, unless you've bought Valhalla and you've bought the full DLC.
Yep. No, of course. Good to see as well, the fact that obviously with the Ubisoft Plus subscription that people may have, or if they've, as you say, bought the individual game, it's good to see that the DLC has been made available, pretty sharpish, along with everywhere else. So that's, that is good that it's available to be experienced on GeForce now as well.
Yep, happy it likes Core, and yes, I would love to see Core come to GFM. For people who don't know what Core is, it's a game making sort of software where it's not click and play as such, but it makes making 3D games a lot easier, and you can jump into levels people have made, or you can make games yourself. So I wouldn't rule it out, I wouldn't rule it in. I think it's a wait and see sort of one. I don't want to be committal on that sort of.
I can understand why you don't want to be committal, because it's I think you can't always read necessarily what Epic are going to do with those sorts of things, can you? So yeah. It's certainly a difficult one. I don't know why I can't talk tonight.
Core coming to GFM would be absolutely class, because it does have the potential to absolutely massively explode out there. Jump into these games, click and go. You can do that, like we've said with other cloud platforms. But I'm not sure if it fits into what GFN are trying to do at this moment in time. I think GFN are concentrating on trying to get all the big PC games onto the platform. And they're doing a sterling job of that at this moment in time. Yes, there's a couple which are missing, which high profile ones which are missing, but by and large, if it's a big PC game, the chances are it is on GFM.
Yeah, absolutely. We touched on that last week in terms of maybe kind of returning publishers and that sort of thing. So just keep the faith, stay the course. They are bringing the games in absolute abundance, and as they said, it's a matter of when, not if. We see maybe some of those other people returning, and hopefully some more of those big games as well.
Yep. Just to emphasize that point here, we'll go back, look at the stats here. Counter-Strike, it's more which games aren't on it rather than what games are on it. And if you scan down this list, basically the whole way down, the vast majority of the top played games on Steam are available on GFM. And I think that sometimes gets missed by a lot of people, is GFN is a PC service looking to grab the games off Steam and Epic and the different launchers, and they haven't. And they, even if they have their separate launchers like Fortnite, they've got the majority of them games as well. There is some still missing here, but the vast majority of these games are available. And speaking of games which are available on GFM, Barry, I need you to plug this.
Of course. Yes. So, as Duncan's rightly brought up, Assetto Corsa Competizione. Last Saturday, we kicked off one of the first of our Cloudy challenges. And we picked this game. You know what we're like at Cloudy for racing games, so it made sense for it to be the first one that we picked. We basically put down a competition for the week, just a challenge to kind of see who can kind of beat the time that we posted. So we picked the Silverstone track from the 2020 series of GT cars with the McLaren 720S. Kind of left the settings relatively basic, and what we've basically said is kind of go out and kind of get your outlap out of the pits done, do 5 laps, and then take a screenshot of what your fastest lap is, and see whether it beats the Cloudy time that we've set. I know some of the guys in Cloudy are frantically trying to get their time down. So the time that was set for the challenge is 207.530, which was set by myself.
And I can tell you, I am 3 seconds away from that.
There's time to be made there. You can make that. It's easy. You can make that easily.
I can tell you there's 2 sections which I'm struggling in, and the first one is going to be absolutely no surprise to anybody. If they're a big racing fan, I can't even say it. Maggots and Beckett's.
Maggots and Beckett's, yeah.
Yep, I am struggling a bit around there, and believe it or not, in F1 I was basically not nailing it, but I was pretty comfortable doing it. It's like it's slightly different in Assetto Corsa because you start off at a different place.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
The first corner it's not the first corner you go around. It's the wee section at the beginning of the lap. If you're in F1, I am struggling around there.
So the left and then the right and then the hairpin left almost.
Yeah. It's and with this as well. And there's corners which I was flat out in F1 where I have to brake. It's like the straight where in the new section I used to in F1 I could just go through the corner without lifting, and I'm actually having to brake going into it, so it plays different.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just going to say that was one of the things. Check out the our YouTube channel, because I actually posted our our kind of run through of those laps on there, just so people could see that we kind of we had posted the time, as well as obviously the screenshot of the time. And it was something that I actually kind of said, if people are accustomed to playing the likes of your grids, your dirts, your F1s, this driving experience is kind of very different. It adds a little bit more of an element of realism, I guess, and obviously the cars handle slightly differently, so you do have to think about your brake points, how you're using your brakes when you're turning in, how the car's going to respond, all that sort of good stuff.
What got me was the turning. That sounds really, really mad and daft. In F1, in grid, and all like other racing games, if you brake and you turn, you still turn. But in this, if you brake and turn, you just go straight ahead. You have to brake before you turn, and it does take a wee while to get your head around it, and it's really, really fun. It is an absolutely amazing game, and I've been playing this on the Shield, and I have been blown away by how gorgeous it looks like on the Shield. I think it looks absolutely stunning on the Shield.
It really does. I mean, I set the times on PC obviously because of doing the recording, but I have also been playing it on Shield. And just a quick tip out there: if it's still the same price, if you don't have the original. So obviously this is Assetto Corsa Competizione. The original Assetto Corsa is like £2.30 at the minute as well, which is a good little pickup to just throw into the library if you like your racing games like I do.
Yep, indeed. We're going to be setting are we setting another one on Saturday?
Yes, we
Or
do need to. We just have to have a discussion over it. I know Killer Platypus put forward a suggestion in the comments last week of one that he'd like to see us do, which was a free to play.
Yeah, title. So we'll have a wee think about that and get that
Yeah.
rocking. We're
Yep.
we're trying to get this. We love feedback. We on it, and we are going to do these and try and get everybody involved because it is a bit of fun. I can't recommend this game enough. It is absolutely amazing playing this. It is like a step beyond. It's just. It's just class, and I've told Barry what I've done this week for our next no, not our next cloudy event, a possible cloudy event of the future.
I was going to say the next one.
Yes, and it involves this game.
Yes, it does.
But it is going to be a challenge, and we'll have to work out things. But it could be a ton of fun. And very, very long.
Yes. We could be strapping ourselves in for the long haul on that one.
Yeah. But that is some of the hints there.
Yep.
But again, it's just something else, this game. It's like moving from FIFA to PES and stuff like that, if you're a sports fan, or going from PUBG to Fortnite. They're the same sort of genres of games, but they just play completely and utterly different. If you're struggling with it, just take your time with it. I think the tutorial system is absolutely brilliant. Have you done anything the single player?
No, I haven't yet. I've literally just been kind of time attacking, and I need to get into the single player. I've just been kind of picking tracks that I like and trying to nail it and go for my life on it.
See, that's what I've been doing, and you get the wee bars along the top where it goes green, red, orange. I think that is brilliant because you can just see where you're making your time and where you're losing your time. It tells you where you're struggling on the lap, and I think that is you can start to learn it. This game is just a step up. Oh, yeah. I think we better get off talking about this one.
Yes.
Shall we move on? Or is there anything else we need to talk about at this moment in time in GFN land?
I think, have we covered it all? I think surely we've covered it all. Actually, can I just say, by the way, I know I've just said I think we've covered it all, but I think I just want to reinforce the point that we made last week, because obviously they announced there's 34 games coming to the platform this month. Obviously we had 13 last week, we had 11 this week, which means we've got 24 out of the 34 already, and we've still got 3 weeks of the month left.
Yeah, so we're going to be well over that by the looks of things, unless things dramatically drop off.
I've probably just completely and utterly
scudded things there.
Yes.
Yeah, you probably have. But it's getting, as we say, I prefer GFN to be economic with the amount of games that they are going to guarantee coming, as long as they hit that, the games to say, well, they're coming, and then add more during the month. I think that is the better way to do it. And if they're getting day and date releases, just announce them as well, that they're definitely coming, so we can plan. And that is it.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there.
Okay. I think that is us then, isn't it?
I think it is. I do just need to very quickly answer Ruben and say, yes, I did pick up Chernobyl Light.
What did you think of Chernobyl Light?
I've probably played about, I've probably played about half hour so far. And brilliant, atmospheric. I like what they've done with it. I'm just really keen to kind of get stuck into it and spend some more time with it.
Cool. And I want to pick or start playing the Split beta out there, but I think that could be a bad idea.
Have you played it at all yet?
0.
Okay. It's they've captured something there for sure. That the whole being able to, I've kind of played my way through the tutorial, so the ability to kind of like go up to doors and kind of open portals and shoot enemies that are like the other side of doorways, like the other side of the the landscape and whatever, just by kind of opening that portal and shooting through, or then kind of diving through whatever. It's brilliant. But again, another one, because I'm trying to play so many things at the moment, I need to spend more time on.
Yep, I think that is our problem. We've got too many games and not enough time to play it. But we will see you next time. Same time. Shall we make it that 8 o'clock is the time?
I'm happy with that. If you are, that works. Yeah.
Yep. So 8 o'clock every week. So that's 8 o'clock UK, 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific, or 9 o'clock Central European time.
Woof! You're getting fancy now.
I'm getting fancy now. We have to pretend, we have to, like, with Ruben being in the chat and stuff, you know.
Yes, I know. And he hasn't had to give us a time warning this week either.
Yeah,
even though we are 12 minutes over, but
we're in the ballpark for us.
Yeah, we are.
Definitely. We had that extra bit of news at the beginning. What we had to sort of cover, which was a bit unexpected. But thank you all for joining us, and we will see you again. Am I allowed to hit buttons now?
Go on then, go for it.